Nice. I'm gonna go ahead and start recording here. Um, yeah, so Thrive membership and just kind of taking it to that next level, right?
Hmm.
There's two schools of thought. You can do things the cheap way. We kind of talked about this, I think, last time we spoke. You can do things the cheap way and just kind of end up screwing yourself, really, because you're not properly equipped, or you can pay a little bit more up front and you know deal with that. Yeah, you're bleeding capital for a little while, but you also have a way better shot of actually making sales because your site looks good. So
Yep. Yep. And I kind of recommend that approach. I mean, um, yeah, I mean, don't go crazy with spending so much on like every single premium theme, but the only way to figure out if a premium theme is the one you like is to pay for it. I wouldn't, yeah, recommend finding whatever bootlegged premium themes and all that stuff. It's like for that stuff, you want to get the legit copies and things like that. And
yeah,
yeah, it's just it kind of puts you in a position to where your back's a little bit against the wall. But luckily, with things like Thrive Themes, they have an affiliate program. So like my first priority is to make back my money, usually promoting that same product. So I mean, if you're going to buy it, then like there's other people looking for premium themes. So my number one goal is to like cancel out my investment with affiliate commissions. So
for sure.
that's how I approach it.
Oh, please believe there's going to be a link in the description for this video. There's
Yeah.
going to be a link there. But I think it's interesting, man, because I really just kind of took a step back and thought about it the other day, this journey. And I don't think I'm the only person. Like for ClickFunnels stuff, I'm branching out and just kind of using my own life and trying to find different angles, right? So
Mhm.
one of the big intimidating things as a writer was, figuring out how to market your book and get it out there and all that. So I started writing about that specifically, right? And trying to get people signed up for different self-publishing stuff and ClickFunnels and whatever. But I took a step back and I was like, you know what? When I was in that position, if someone would have told me that, I would have said, no, screw you. I'm doing this the bootstrap way. But bootstrapping fucking sucks, man. And I don't think there's enough people saying that and being real about it. Like, hey, don't bootstrap. Like, you're probably better off buying the softwares you really need, the plugins you really need upfront, not going too crazy, right? But because you don't want it to become like a crutch, but definitely get what you need to get started. Don't.
Exactly. And just save up until you're at that point. Like get the part-time job and keep it until you have made that first profitable campaign or whatever. Um, because ClickFunnels is not going to make you a good marketer. Having an autoresponder is not going to make you a good marketer, but having good tools is going to help you and save time and money. It's just going to make you look, it's going to improve your results, assuming that you do what you have to do. I mean, if your sites have no content and you've got a pretty premium theme that you paid $100 for, who cares?
Right.
But if you are putting in the work or are getting articles written and you're adding them consistently and your site's getting traffic, it's only going to help. If you have the default free WordPress theme, I'm sure you'll still make money. Most people aren't designers and they don't care about that stuff as long as you give them the information that they came to your site for. But if your site looks better and it's in a more appealing and kind of maybe more optimized to convert, and you've put some thought into that, you're only going to increase your chances for that. And most people are not coders or developers or whatever, and so these premium themes, they give you a lot of times more flexibility and customization and changing colors and stuff, so like you can make it really look really professional, whereas with just a few clicks of a button, whereas a free theme, usually they don't come with a lot of customization. So like you're pretty much stuck with whatever is the out of the box, whatever that developer came up with, you know.
That's
So,
super interesting, man. I remember getting started and being so um, confused about what direction to go. And it took me, I want to say I had Meditation Life, the meditation store. I had that thing up and running without any kind of pop-ups, any kind of like email capture, anything for a long, 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 long time. And then I stumbled across HubSpot and I started using theirs for free. But even using HubSpot was like a learning curve because you have to like get into there's certain amounts of knowledge you end up gaining through doing that, obviously. But
mhm,
I think when you're first starting out, you really want to be able to go through something kind of like a step by step, a compass, if you will, for really understanding, hey, this is going to lead to something, right? Or
mhm.
else you'll just flail all over the place. You'll get Shopify, or you'll get ClickFunnels, and you'll make half-ass decisions because you don't really have a goal, you know. And Thrive Themes, that's one of the things I'm super interested in, is having each and every one of my sites have built-in like features, email capture and
Mhm.
this and that. And I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff I don't even know about yet. So
Yeah, and they've done a good job of making their themes work. They've got their plugins that work well with their themes. So like pretty much anything you can think of, they've already made it or they're working on it, which is nice because you don't sure you can go outside of Thrives and find that perfect little solution that you may be looking for that they haven't developed yet. But they've 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 pretty much come up with most everything you could need to make sales or increase conversions on your site, with all their plugins and stuff, and you probably won't even use half of them, but
right.
so I
So
mean,
it's kind of like a one-stop shop for a blogger, for somebody who's newer, a blogger, affiliate marketer, whatever. Um, if you're a beginner, it
yeah.
seems to be a good
Yeah,
one.
because they're marketers too, and like if you were just to get your premium theme elsewhere, then you'll still have to kind of like add in your own plugins for all this other stuff. Whereas they've pretty much got a lot of the, um, you know, plugins that you'll find useful as a marketer for, like you said, the lead gens, like Thrive Leads and stuff. They've
Yeah,
just got several different ways to capture leads on your blog, and they've got that plugin to split test your headlines on your blog post. That's pretty cool.
nice.
So you can
Yeah,
see which title converts the best, and
yeah.
just interesting things like that.
That's cool, man. I was taking a freedom course recently, and they were talking about, um, I think the phrase was, measurement is the language of marketing or something like that. So really like getting into the weeds about tracking everything and really paying attention to that. I think a lot of beginners, myself included, um, you're so fast to want to go grab that first bit of money, you know, try to make sure that it's working, proof of concept, if you will, that you
Mhm.
kind of speed past the diligence that really, this online stuff is not easy in that sense. It's extremely complicated when you get it, if we're talking the amount of detailed and intentional things that you can do, right? Um,
Yeah, I guess,
yeah,
once you put it all together, it's fairly simple to maintain it. But I was telling, Tyler, a friend, the other day, I was like, man, even you, all the stuff that you've learned, you could teach several classes. I mean, you could teach sort of like an advanced class already on websites and affiliate marketing, or you could teach a really, really basic course, like for people that are just getting started. You could just walk them through like what a domain is and what a host is and how to connect the two and how to set up a WordPress blog. Like those are things that, people are paying thousands of dollars to learn this in a university. So like, don't discount the fact that you know how to do those things, and you
mhm,
can charge, even if you charge half of that, that's more than most people make in a day or a week at their job. So like just having one person that you can coach through that so that they don't have to go through a course, they can just learn from another human. Like it has value to people, just things that we don't think about because you're doing it every day. You're like, man, I haven't made, $1,000 in a day yet or whatever. But like all of the little pieces that you're doing, like it's a lot of steps.
A lot of
Um,
steps.
and
It's a
so
lot
being
of
able
steps.
to, I mean, just imagine the amount of time and money you could save somebody if you could just hold them by the hand and walk them through that so they don't have to spend hours figuring it out. Because that's what's the frustrating part about this whole online marketing stuff. It's the actions that we take, and they're not hard, but learning the steps when it's finding that blueprint
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
They exist. There's lots of them, but like
They're
when
segmented. Yeah.
when you first get started, unless you just lucked out and happened to stumble across like one of us in a bar or something, and
Right.
we showed you the
Greg
blueprint.
Jeffries, SEO
Yeah,
affiliate domination.
yeah. If we didn't show you the blueprint from day one, you probably feel just alone, like you're on a little island. Like even though the information's out there, you don't know where it's at. So you feel like the internet's just this big place, and you know all marketers are scammers, and is this stuff really real?
Dude,
But
there's your boy. You sent out an email today, and your friend, the dude, the redhead guy,
Ian, yeah.
Ian. I clicked on it and I bought that book because I look forward to reading it. But that's just it's so much value add, just your email thing. But one of the things I was going to point out was he said that on the video on the landing page to buy his book, which he was using ClickFunnels. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and see little things like that, like you recognize that,
yeah,
Tyler recognizes that. He's only been in this internet marketing space like a year, and you can already tell when it's a ClickFunnels page. And just little things like that. Like I remember when Tyler got started, he was like, "How do you know it's a ClickFunnels page?" Like, well, the buttons give it away.
right.
Uh, and we like nobody else knows that except us. Like I can tell the difference between a ClickFunnels and a lead pages page, but those are nerdy things that only we would recognize.
Yeah, you pick it up. It's the residual stuff. It's so cool, man. I keep on comparing trading to this because I was looking at my charts today and pointing out like a huge move. It just fell off the cliff, it looked like. And I was like, dude, that was so easy to see. But I just had a moment where I was like, man, I used to not have any clue what was going to happen. And I was really guessing up
Mhm.
until like a year and a half ago, and then I'm starting to feel the same way with this affiliate stuff where I'm like, well, I know that if I put out one SERP page a day, I'll be able to find within a week one that works, and then I can dig into that one, and make an
Mhm.
authority site.
Mhm.
Um, and so I'm starting to kind of map it out process wise. So my trading, I mapped out the same way because I only trade one strategy. I'm looking for one setup. I'm not looking at everything else, and just kind of creating a system, right? I think as a beginner, there's so many pieces all over the place that you scramble to make sense of them. And that'll take you like, you can get into a rabbit hole and be there for 3 hours. And then you look up and you say, well, I didn't do shit today. I didn't get anything done. When really you did get things done because you were trying to put it together.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I'm the type of person, I need results every single day as far as something I can look at and said, I did that today, or else I feel like I'm lazy or useless because I'm hard on myself that way, but I have to see a tangible result. Okay, there's a blog post. Okay, here's a video. Okay, here's a whatever. And it's interesting, man. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Well, that's one thing you could do. I mean, it's really simple, but yeah, literally just publishing a whatever, a SERP shaker build of keywords or whatever post a day. And then eventually you're going to find the one that gets the traction the fastest. And then you can start focusing on that one. In theory, they'll probably all eventually work, but one's going to get traction quicker, and just go from there.
right. Well, anybody who's listening to this, if you're watching this, I think one of the things I had to get over early on is when you're going into anything blind, you don't know if it's going to work for you. You might have a friend like Greg. You might be looking at us and saying, well, you guys are winning, or you might know somebody, whatever. Um, be ready and willing to pay in order to have an advantage over the average person, right? I
Mhm.
just wrote about this. I was like, most writers, self-published writers at least, they self-publish and then they don't market their book.
Mhm.
So for some reason, you think you're a great writer. You might be, and that's awesome. But you're not going to put in the work and effort to actually get it into people's hands.
Mhm.
Like that's the next level. That's that piece that other people don't want to do. That's how you set yourself apart, is by being really good at marketing. Not just marketing, but being good at it. Now you're in the top probably 3% of people who self-publish. You just separate yourself. So with this affiliate stuff, SEO affiliate domination gives you a skill of SEO that allows you to do affiliate domination, which is different than a lot of courses that are just going to teach you how to put links on a page. I'm learning stuff that has nothing to do with making money and everything to do with making money at the same time. The nuances and uh, being able to understand the different plugins and what they all do, and having recommendations from somebody who uses them, right? Before I pay. But there's money that you have to put up, obviously, and but don't run away from that. You get your money back if you complete Greg's course and you make your commission back or whatever, which I thought was amazing. Wealthy
Yeah.
Affiliate only charges you $20 and then $50 after that a month, but you never see that money again. So
Yeah, and you're kind of I'm not ripping on them or anything, but the ecosystem that they've created, they want you to kind of get your, I think, domain names and hosting kind of through their platform. So when you're done with them, which I would think you would kind of be done, get everything you could possibly extract from them in probably a year or less, all your stuff sort of tied to their platform. And
so bad.
and so you sort of have to kind of break free from that, but you're on this, monthly recurring payment, and it's just, whatever. That's their business model, but just something to consider if you are, you know,
Yeah.
considering investing in wealthy affiliate. And
They
I,
they
I
make it they make it easy to a fault though. They really don't encourage you to dig deep and try and go out of your way. And for me, like we were talking about earlier, getting the approval from the affiliate network, there were other people who clicked on it, but there weren't other people who actually went through and did it. And I think I've taken that for granted. I thought that everybody would do it. It's not a big deal. But now I'm starting to see that, wow, with your course, your ClickFunnels course, people I'm sure logged in and took it, but are they going to use what's in it?
probably not.
I
Give it to them, and and even then, the competition doesn't really increase because people they're like, oh, thanks for the free course. They'll create their account and never log in.
Jesus.
Um, but I want to. I feel like with wealthy affiliate, that kind of community, it kind of reminds me of the results I've seen with um, things like, I guess, like Weight Watchers and Curves. Have you ever known any women that are like, go to these Curves meetings or Weight Watchers or whatever, and they just meet with other, I mean, there's no nice way to say it. I get that they're usually overweight women.
Yeah.
Yeah, they meet with other women, and it's like a support group. But then, like, if they stay along with, keep going to those meetings, you'll be like, "Are you still going to those Weight Watcher meetings?" They're like, yeah, we go there every week, and I just like whatever, talk about my feelings and my habits or something. And like 3 months, 6 months later, that goes by, and they're all still fat. You
Right.
know, like
It's rough.
I've
Yeah.
never met anybody that's like went from
Went
fat
through
to
what you want.
skinny from
Yeah.
curves. It's less, they just sort of stay in the same place and encourage people. It's like a support system, but no encouragement to get skinny. It's just sort of like, you're fat. Oh, I'm fat too. Yeah, let's stay fat together. It's like you've probably heard that example of the crabs in the tank and one's trying to get
Crab in the
away.
bucket. Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Yeah, and then the others are like, no, stay down here with us. I feel like that's kind of wealthy affiliate. Like they content some direction, but then past that, there is no. And again, this is my vibe that I get from 'em. You've actually gone through their material, but I don't get that vibe of like really advanced marketers. Like after you get past the basic level, there's like an advanced sort of like
Mhm.
gray hat, like level up your thinking section. Like this is how to really get from, a couple of $1,000s a month to just crushing it. You have
It's
to,
it's like the orientation course in college.
mm, yeah,
They just kind
like,
of give you the lay of the land, but they're not really going to like teach you anything important, man. And that's so I've struggled with this. I was moments away from canceling my account for this month, and I decided to keep it because I want to make sure that blue highlighted text is legit and I'm telling the truth and I'm going through it and I'm dotting my I's, crossing my T's type of thing. So I've struggled to finish the course because it is so freaking basic and useless. And they keep drilling you with the same stuff. Now, I'll admit, whenever I first took your course, it took me 2 times going through it to where I was like, oh crap, really sinking in, right? Um, but even with that, again, another thing, the time commitment. Your course only took me 2, maybe 3 days to go through it twice.
yeah,
Wealthy affiliate, I've been on this thing for a month now, going on 2 months, and I'm still wading through all the stuff. And then they got tasks they want you to complete at the end of each. I'm like, dude, just give me the information and then let me implement it.
maybe that's why nobody gets anywhere, because it takes so damn long to get through
It
it.
takes so long to get through it. They designed it masterfully. They're very smart marketers. They're not very good at teaching though, and that's because they're trying to not really give you the full set of tools. They want you to be dependent. They
Mm.
want you to stay there. That's why your hosting is in their platform, your domains, all that good stuff. And you got to pay to remove a domain, like to move it outside of their thing.
Wow.
I did it just to see what it was about, and I was like, oh shoot, no,
Wow.
no, no, I'm sorry. I bought a domain and then transferred it to Wealthy Affiliate to try to do that whole thing, and it was like $15 or something. I was
Yeah.
like, what? It's weird.
Yeah, just so, I mean, I'll just throw this out there. This is so one of my goals for my course is it's kind of like, I guess, shooting myself in the foot, but it hasn't really felt like that. But I, one of my goals is to help people, to give them a skill so that I can kind of kick them out of the nest and be like, now's your time to fly. You don't need me anymore. Like I love, taking, people paying me money and stuff. And there will be some other kind of upsells and back end stuff in the future with the
Right.
course, because, just if in a perfect world, if everybody got their money back, I'd be making no money or not much. But I don't want people to be dependent on me, because I want to teach and train them how to think for themselves so that they can be independent. Like that, because that's what I wanted for myself. I didn't want to ever be, once I learned enough, I just, in the beginning when I was learning all this stuff, it did feel like I needed to be dependent on, the next guru feeding me, the little scraps and crumbs of like, what is, the Google's evolving. What is the changes this year? Like, I'm not very smart. I'm just depending on this other marketer to feed me, and I hope that it's good information. Like, I
Mm,
just want to. It's not as, SEO is not as secretive as you might think and stuff, and it's not as complicated as you might think. And I try to just the whole marketing game as a whole. Like, it's all, there's a lot of overlap and crossover with all of the skills and stuff. So if you just learn a handful, like you already made this comparison several times, you can take what you've learned in my course, and it's very applicable to trading. You
Mm-hmm.
only need to change a few things, and it's probably very, I don't, not probably, it's very applicable to like paid traffic. And it's also very, you can take some of the same approaches to copywriting and weave those in, and video marketing. Like there's a ton of overlap. And so you're not having to, like, if you wanted to move, uh, what do you call it? Just sidestep a little bit and kind of change, go from SEO to paid traffic. It's not like you're changing disciplines completely. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, it is a slightly different skill set, but like you're only having to learn a small percentage of new things, and you're just adding on all the other stuff that you already know about marketing. So,
It's
man,
building. You're really building something. You're building blocks.
yeah, and
Foundation. The
yeah,
foundation is important, man.
I think, Elon Musk said this, and I'm sure a bunch of other smart people have in the past too, but they said, one of the simplest ways to create like a like billion-dollar idea, or at least multi-million-dollar idea, is to combine things like that most other people wouldn't think to combine. Like you've
Mm-hmm.
already made this comparison of trading and SEO, and how that's very unique, or similar. Well, if you combine those together, wow, that's
Right.
something that a lot of traders probably aren't doing, because they don't know much about SEO and affiliate marketing. But if you could be that guy that combine those two, then it's like, wow, this dude is crushing it with this thing. And you kind of created this little blue ocean,
Right.
um, where nobody had thought to combine those two,
Yeah.
to
Definitely.
that capacity yet. So I love things like that, because you're not inventing something new. You're just, and those are advantages that you have just by exposing yourself to just like new and random information. Like, you go to whatever, there's the caves that's north of here, near Georgetown. If you went to that cave and on the tour you learned something about whatever geology or history or rocks, and then you thought that was a cool story, and you could combine that into your trading style, and now that's
Yeah.
the name of your trading system. And like, well, how did you get that idea? Oh,
Yeah.
I went on this cave tour and I thought that'd be a great name,
Yeah.
for this strategy. And now that's your signature strategy.
No,
And
that's so cool that you point that out, man. I'm starting to realize, like, a lot of people who are starting out, they want to get into a niche, um, but they don't go about it in a way where they never run out of material. Like, I'll never run out of material for blue highlighted text. I'll never run out of material for some of my other endeavors, because I'm writing about what I'm interested in, and just being real and upfront about, like, where I'm at. You know what I mean? I think you teach that better than a lot of other people. The Shopify course I took when I first tried to start selling stuff online, just making money online in general, and then the uh, wealthy affiliate. It's like, pick a niche. I get that, but you're not picking from a place of interest and love and passion. You're picking with your mind that wants to logically make money online. And that's, in my opinion, it's very hard to write a good article, like a passionate article, if you're not interested, if it's not something you actually care to give your real opinion on.
yeah,
So,
that took me a while to get comfortable with. Like, for instance, I just had to create like my own little mind hack for that. Like we mentioned Blue Chew, or these ED pills and supplements that
mhm.
seem to be trending now. Um, 2 or 3 years ago, that even though I could see like, wow, there's a lot of money there, that seems to be a trend, I should probably hop on there. I couldn't really get excited about it, because I was like, I would tell myself, well, I don't know anything about this, and there's no way I could write about it. And like the concept of creating an angle or direction and delegating that task to a writer that might be better at that than me,
Mm,
didn't cross my mind. And it just, my brain would shut down. Like, well, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to miss that opportunity because I'm not
Mm,
prepared for it. And like, even though I can see it, and I'm probably just gonna miss out on millions of dollars, but I could see it, but I don't know how to take advantage of it.
interesting.
Whereas now when I see it, I'm like dollar signs, like that gives me excited. So it gives me kind of a desire to want to learn more about. I'm like, I can see this trend happening. Let's go learn about it, or like get excited enough to decide on an angle, pass that off to a writer. Let's take advantage of this niche, capture, siphon some of the traffic to this offer, make a lot of money. Let's make it happen. I just approach it
No, I hear
differently.
you. Yeah, that's way different than the way I was thinking. I'm glad you said that because that helps me correct my course. And I think that passing it off to a writer is an advanced thing because again, people get started, they don't want to spend any money. They don't want to think about this affiliate marketing stuff like a real business with real startup costs, because you can technically get started cheap, but that doesn't mean it's the best way to do it. And I just think about that. I'm like, man, having a whole team of writers is amazing. I have a buddy who just started a gig as a commercial real estate um, realtor. And one of the first things I said when he told me about his day, his first couple of weeks, I was like, yo, you need to hire somebody to make your phone calls for you so you can just focus on closing deals. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, man, that's a great freaking idea. And I'm like, dude, I'm taking that from, again, combining elements. I'm taking it from my SEO stuff and understanding that. And I went and met with Eric Hamadi, the insurance guy, and he
Mm-hmm.
was telling me that's how they set up their insurance business. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was the most interesting thing ever. I was like, wow, so you can really building teams is like a new idea for me because it's always been Jordan, do this, I do that, I do this, I do everything. And
It's pretty incredible. Like there's been a lot of changes in the last year with me and the course and stuff, and so I'm
yeah,
super excited. Like, just a wave of peace is like coming over me now because with what we're doing, we're going to start having writers for the blog. And Tyler's going to be the editor for that because he's somebody I trust. He's good at writing. So he's going to screen all the articles and make sure they look good before they're published and publish that. So that is a completely hands-off thing for me. I don't
right.
have to manage that. He's going to manage everything. And I'm going to be getting the content for free that's going to attract visitors, which is going to convert into sales. And incredible. So that's off my plate completely. And then Kevin's going to be doing all my little experiments that I don't have time to run. And so that's going to be off my plate. So I can literally just focus on like all the things that need to happen within the course, as well as maybe doing some ClickFunnels stuff or whatever I want to create content around to scale this year. So those two
Awesome.
things are just going to be off my plate, which that is what everybody, that's what everybody dreams of having. You want to have like little people working for you, but in a hands-off way. It's like stuff's getting done and it's getting done well, just as good or better than I can do it. And I'm not having to touch it or see it. Like, oh, that's the dream. But the it doesn't start out that way. What turns people off, I guess, is that scary part in the beginning where you're having to build these processes and you maybe have to hire and fire a bunch of people because you're having to split test basically their quality.
Mm,
But when you find that right person, man, pay them well to keep them and stuff, make them happy. Like, I just hired a copywriter to rewrite the sales page for the course, which it came out amazing. He's a newbie copywriter, so it's extremely affordable. But I made sure to pay him kind of like the high number he quoted me, and I want to continue to fill his plate with work and keep him happy,
right.
and make sure he's taken care of like financially and stuff because I I want to create a very nice relationship between us because if he's consistently putting out good work, I don't want to lowball him. He may quote me a low quote, but like if if that copy's converting into sales for me, I'm going to pay him well.
Right.
I want them to continue to do good work and be able to be comfortable. And, you know, so man, I've always had, I've always recognized that because, I, I think one of my strengths is just recognizing strengths in other. And at the jobs I've worked at the past, I've seen where, you know, really, really loyal people sometimes don't get compensated for
Mm-hmm.
what they're contributing to that organization. So I always felt like, you know, even if I have something like a small mom and pop bakery, I would love to be in a position to where I could I could pay like, you know, the person that's in the back making the cookies or donuts or whatever, if it's from scratch or whatever, I would love to be able to pay them like 40, $50,000 a year plus benefits. Cause like if they're doing a great job and they're good at what they do and
Mm-hmm.
it's making me money, I want to make sure that person is happy, comfortable. They love coming to work. They have all their basic needs fulfilled. And, you know, most people will be like, well, you can't, there's no way to do that. You know, the only margin we have is to be able to pay them $10 an hour with no benefits. Like, there's always a way. There's always a way that you can. I mean, because think about it. Why is it that like on these, you know, fast food chains and stuff? Why is it that the most you can pay someone seems to be about minimum wage or 10 to 15 bucks an hour? Why is it that low of a wage? Like, can we make more? Like, what's stopping us from paying that person more so that they don't have to be thinking about how little money they have when they're at the job? Because I just, whenever they're working for me, I wanted to be as fully present as possible so that they're, you know,
Focus.
fully committed, yeah, focused to the customers and stuff, and customer support, and to where, you know, I don't want them to be in a pissed or grumpy mood because they know they're not getting paid enough. Like I want them to
Mm.
be happy and fulfilled. And so those are dreams
That's
I've always
interesting.
had for if I ever have a brick and mortar business or businesses, I want those to be people to be compensated very well for their time.
Right. That's awesome, man. I was chatting with the gentleman I had mentioned from Freedom, and he had said, you know, what's my goal with the nonprofit with Project Nuisance? And I was like, dude, I really badly want to have employees that are paid 100K because it's unheard of in the nonprofit world, unless you're like an executive director or something.
Yeah, American Heart Association.
Yeah,
See,
you're like way up there.
yeah,
But I think that the work of giving back, if it's done well, it's super important,
yeah.
uh, especially when you're going into certain areas of the world and of town. But anyways, no, I'm glad you shared that with me, man. That reminded me a lot of 4 Hour Work Week, where at first it's all about, you know, getting off the ground, getting paid. But I think a lot of people have a false pretense or misconception around success as an entrepreneur. And I want to get your opinion on this because I respect your success and what you've done. I think that, and your insight really, I think people have this misconception. If I hit a certain amount of money per month or per year, I'm just going to consume it, right? You ask a kid what he wants to do, they want to buy a Ferrari, they want to buy a Lambo, they want to buy all these things. But the reality of it, whenever unless you're like a lotto winner or something, I guess, the reality is you want your business to be tighter and better and cleaner and less headaches and be able to scale it and make more money. It becomes like a game, and I definitely am in that line of thought. And as a kid, I used to think, you know, material things. You want to buy a whole bunch of stuff. Even starting entrepreneurship, 25 years old. Oh, I want to make this much money, and then I'm going to buy this, this, and that. Like that, it's so juvenile. But I kind of want to talk on it because I think everybody goes through it.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Uh, well, first off, I mean, most people, I mean, you're never going to be satisfied. Whatever your number is now, when you get there, it's not going to be enough, um, for long at least. I've been at the same level financially for about a year, and it's frustrating because I know I'm not. I mean, just the fact of earning the same amount again and again and again is an accomplishment, but it doesn't feel like that when
Mm,
you're there. And it
mm,
feels like you're actually like kind of poor because I mean I have a good life, but when I look at my numbers, I'm like, man, I'm not growing, I'm not
mm.
improving. So that, yeah, you feel that, and but yeah, so it's kind of a little tangent. Um, you don't need too much money to live a very, very comfortable life as a single person, or even um, with a spouse or significant other and like a kid or two. You really don't need a lot of money. Me and Ty were just talking like yesterday or something, and we are like, it's really funny because we all like all the things that I ever wanted as a kid, all the toys and video games and everything, if you put them all together and added them up, I could probably buy every single thing I ever wanted as a kid for what I make in 1 month now.
Right,
Everything.
right.
Everything on the knives, like all the CDs I wanted, Nerf, Legos,
Yeah,
NES games, everything in 1 month, and probably still have money left over. Like,
right.
it's not that much money for all the things that I thought were so incredible back then. Um, so that's cool. I don't know where you want to kind of go with this, but
Well, more, I kind of want to steer you in the direction of coming to that realization, right? You might have had early on in your career, like you were going to, maybe you visualized yourself, um, and maybe not, I don't know, but maybe you visualize yourself like being this business owner who made a whole bunch of money, and then you're enjoying the fruits of your labor, but really, and it's happening to me right now. That's why I like to talk about it so much. There's something in your brain that changes over, and you say, no, I want to make this organization be the thing I'm proud of, not the Ferrari, not the Lambo. I don't
mm,
care about that as much. If that happens, cool, but that's not the goal.
yeah,
Consumption's not the goal. Really, the goal is, how can I build my business? How can I hire the right people? How can I enjoy it? How can I keep growing? You know?
yeah, and build kind of a legacy. Yeah, because I think you have to. I think your goals and dreams, financially and stuff, they have to be bigger than stuff. I believe because the stuff is never going to make you happy. I don't care if you got 20 yachts and 10 mansions all across the world. It's never enough, you know. Um, yeah, there's never going to be enough things to make you happy. So, I stole this from Russell Brunson, but he's like, there's multiple levels of kind of in a business, and you get to a point where even making, from a million to a billion, that's cool, but the money is never going to make you happy. And so
Mhm.
there's the basically the end game is always uh, giving back. That is the ultimate like fulfillment, because you reach a point where money doesn't matter anymore. You're not fulfilled by it, and you have to give back. Even people that are like assholes and bitter and stuff, they understand this principle too. That's why they give back, and they're philanthropists and stuff, because they know that that wealth comes back into their life in different ways, and they just have more to give them. And so I believe, I mean, I've known this for years and years. That's why I think that's the big difference between earning six figures and like eight figures plus is those people that give back. Russell, he's always on stage, he's always like give, doing speeches and writing books and things like that. And they have their little nonprofits and things that they give to. And that's, I think you have to, those goals that are bigger than you have to have those in order to get you to that income level. I think your
Right.
dream to be really big. So like, that's
That's
kind
it.
of that's what keeps me going now, because I mean, I could just tinker on my website and my course, and I could get that to $1 million and live comfortable for Greg for the rest of his life and like my family and stuff. But like, I'm never gonna get. I don't think I'll ever get to 100 million, 9 figures, by ha- without having a big vision. So I have
Mm,
the thing that I think will get me there are these big dreams that I have of just doing, crazy stuff. Like I personally feel calling to give back to like where I came from. So a lot of people, they build schools and orphanages and Africans, wells and stuff, and that's cool. But I personally feel more led to like help my own people.
right.
So I want to build libraries and, just entertainment things in my hometown of,
Mm.
coffee shops, comedy clubs, bars, entertainment places,
Something to
dance
do
clubs,
because you're
things.
from a small town like me. Yeah.
Yeah, things for them to do, because that stimulates the local economy. And
Yeah.
I want to provide training programs and stuff, and like maybe like a little school or something to train people how to be entrepreneurial and stuff, because I want to bring nice things that people can spend a lot more money on in my hometown. And I'm gonna do it in layers. I want to train people to teach them the skills that we're learning and know, to in order so they'll increase their income, so that they'll be able to afford the things that I want to bring there. Because if I
Exactly.
bring all these, like if there was a Maserati dealership, well, not going to sell very many Maseratis in my little hometown, because I mean, there are people that make a ton of money, like the president of the university and the football coach and stuff. They're, probably millionaires and stuff and making multiple six figures. But other than those people, and a couple of business owners, there's just probably not like a big need for that. And those luxury kind of items, or a diamond store, or whatever, Bulgaria or something, Tom
Yeah.
Ford. It's a dumb move
Unless you
right
create a
now.
need. Yeah.
Yes, so I want to create that community of people that are like multimillionaires. There's a bunch of them, like young, and they
Yeah.
want these things, and then I bring it to them, and now they have something to spend their money on.
It's interesting, man. I like that. I like that a lot. I think one of the things you just said that resonated the most was having a vision that's bigger than um, the thing that you want to own, right?
Yeah, so I don't think that focusing on money, or I mean, within my course, the goal would have to be like, I want to help 1 million people make $100,000 a year, and that's a pretty big goal. But like, in order to like, one of the things I would love to do, we have a small airport. It has literally one gate
Mm,
where I come from,
yeah.
but it's the closest airport to where I live. It's like 15 minutes away, and I was like, I would love to have Delta's the only flight that goes there, and you have to go through Atlanta. And I was like, man, what would it take for a direct flight to go from Austin to my hometown? Like, what would that
Private
cost?
jet.
Yeah, other than a private jet, but like a commercial airline, what would it take?
Mm,
Would it take 10 million? Would it take 100 million? What is
mm.
that number? Because I know there is a price for everything. So it's
Right.
a number. If it needs to be, 100 million, well, in order for that to happen, Greg needs to make 100 million.
Yeah.
That's the only way for that to happen. And I'm not. I guess I'm too like proud and prideful to like. I don't know how to do it either. But I don't want to be that beggar guy that goes around and it's like, hey, can I get donations? We're trying to raise money for a second
Mm,
gate at the airport, or blah blah blah. Like, I just want to be in a position to where I can, tell me the number, $1 billion. Cool. I'll see you in like 3 years when I've raised $1 billion, because I've created 10 businesses that are going to bring in 1 billion. Now I have it. Now I have the
right.
money. Let's proceed. Like, I just want to be able to create whatever I need.
Mhm.
But So yeah, the goal is the motivation to get the money. I'm not
Right.
ever focused on seven figures for seven figures sake, because I don't think you can get there, but I think you push it away a little bit further each year when you're just focusing on the dollar signs, because
Because you're missing the point.
yeah, you don't have a real passion and purpose behind that goal.
That's so cool. I like that. I agree 100%. I think you can take that down, dwindle it down to working out, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to go work out just because you want to work out. Like eventually you're going to have a day where it's like, man, I really don't want to do this shit. But if you can make it, there's this dude, Ed Milet. He's like this really jacked entrepreneur, speaker, coach guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the reason he started working out was he wanted to be there when his daughter got married. And he had his daughter in his late 20s or early 30s or something. And he was in really bad shape or something. So he started lifting weights like crazy, and now he's like super jacked. And I was like, wow, that makes sense. If you have a good reason, you know, you can do these things. So
Well, it's like you know, just like Apple, they built a culture like ClickFunnels. I think it's really awesome because they're a $1 billion brand. Windows, Microsoft is too, but
mhm.
people stand in lines for hours and to wait for the new Apple releases, but there's diehard rabid Apple fans, and then there's people that don't like Apple. But the people that don't like Apple, they're not diehard PC fans usually. They
Yeah,
just
that's
don't
true.
like Apple.
That's true. Yeah.
So they're like PC by default, but they're not like, I love Windows. Nobody's out there that says that.
Yeah.
So
That's just the next level of thinking.
that's going back to the nonprofit stuff. That's why like nonprofits are so kind of infectious and contagious and stuff, because there's usually a powerful cause behind them. So people
Mm.
will volunteer and give donations without ever thinking, because it makes them feel good. Maybe, the Heart Association or something, or like St. Jude, maybe they had a kid that at one point in time had whatever cancer, leukemia or something, and so they have a soft spot in their heart for that. So their daughter got healed from St. Jude, so now they give $10,000 a year back to that because they got help and stuff, and so the people can rally behind those causes and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You
that's
can create your own cause like for your life and really understand it. I think as corny as that sounds, right? I think if people take the time to really dig deep and understand what all this is for, and you know, if it's bigger, hopefully it's bigger than exotic cars and you know, traveling and houses and stuff. I think those things come into your life. They're kind of magnetized to you once you're
yeah.
operating at a certain level, for sure.
It's a byproduct of the success and stuff, but
Hmm.
yeah.
Nice, man. Well, no, this is good. I appreciate this. This is making me re-examine my own goal setting. I've got huge goals, but my short-term goals are like, make $300 a day online passively, and maybe I can tweak that to say, um, you know, a process-driven goal, like write 3 blog posts today and make 1 video, you know, which is what I was doing with the trading stuff. And then it became second nature. So I don't even have that written as a goal because I do it. It's super easy. But
Yeah, I mean, well, take what I said with a grain of salt. I mean, I think it is important to like to maybe focus on the money a little bit in the beginning, because
mm,
that first goal or first couple of goals to get you to where your head's above water and you're comfortable. I
mm,
think that's important to be very crystal clear on that
gotcha.
number. So like $300 a day, that's going to translate to about 10,000 a month. That's a very good thing to be just like focused on, because when you hit that, a lot of other things in your life are going to get significantly better as a result.
Yeah.
So like it's going to free up your time, assuming that a lot of that is passive, which is going to help you think in like a more stress-free state of mind of your other goals that you want to accomplish. You can actually sit down and like work through them without having to feel that burden of like, well, I mean, this is what I like working on, but I probably shouldn't be doing this right now. I should probably be writing a blog because I
Mm,
really need the money right now. But when your money's taken care of, you can actually just 100% focus on your bigger goals because all your little needs are taken care of. Your,
yeah, appreciate that. That's super crystal. Nice. Good
yeah,
stuff, man. It
yeah.
was a good talk, for real. Yeah. Well, like I promised at the beginning of the video, I'm going to go ahead and invest in Thrive Themes, and I'll have a link in the description and all that good stuff, and be making some updates and talking about that a little bit more. Y'all check me out on Blue Highlighted Text. Check out the YouTube videos. Links to all Greg's course is going to be there. So please check that out. If we got to keep on convincing you guys with these videos, that's fine. We'll do it for a little while, at least. And it shouldn't take too much to do it. But even you have a free course, like free lesson or something before the course.
Yeah, I've got a little free course, and then I've got a little ClickFunnels free course as well, whatever. But yeah, you can link to whichever one you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna link that up so you guys can kind of see that. But yeah, please click, consider this. This is a skill. It's real life. This is really happening. Thanks as always, Greg.
This is really happening.
This is
We're
really
talking
happening, man. I'm going from I made $200 about a month ago on share sell, and now I'm steadily on the pursuit of growing that. So I'm no different than a lot of these people who are probably watching this.
sweet.
But yeah. All right, man. Thanks a bunch. Much love always, and have a great week.
All right.